Hey everybody, it is Fade again and welcome yourselves back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a recap of the RLCS LANdon Major a month after it happened. Reason being is, I was wanting to do the video after I got back and then I got ill because of COVID. Unsurprising that I got it after going to a big event like that with loads of people. And then I kind of just totally forgot to do this video, and so I decided to just combine it with the World's Predictions video. Now, I've got to say already that I recorded this video once, and as it turns out, there was no audio because it wasn't selected in OBS, because I hadn't used it in that long. Idiot. So, basically when it comes to the predictions, it will be filled in already, but I'll kind of just talk through it anyway. But that should make the video a little shorter overall. So there we go. So let's begin with a little recap of LAN. If you don't know, I actually went to the LAN myself. Must say it's probably the best weekend I've ever had in my life, and that's no exaggeration. It was awesome. And yeah, I would recommend to anyone who's thinking about going to a LAN, an RLCS LAN, and you can, just go, because you will absolutely love it. So I'll talk a bit more about my experience of the LAN in a minute, but we'll quickly go over what I predicted versus what actually happened. I'll just talk about the ones that stick out the most. For instance, I thought BDS would win the whole thing. They came dead last. They didn't even win a single game, let alone a series. My word. I was not expecting that. I don't think anyone was expecting that. But Christ almighty, I don't even know what to say about that. Mouse winning the whole thing, I thought they would come runners up, so that's not too bad. Falcons coming second, I thought they would come top 8. But yeah, they really surprised me. They played so well. It was amazing watching them. And considering it's their first ever RLCS season, I mean, everyone knew they would probably be among the top teams in the world. But really, for the first season of RLCS, they've done amazingly well. It was incredible to watch them. Also, Endpoint, I thought they would get 4th. They've come last as well. G2, I thought they'd be 3rd. They came top 12. It's all over the place. Really, with Rocket League, I think it's near impossible, really, to get the predictions right. It's difficult to get them, somewhat correct. But yeah, all that matters really to me is that, the LAN was super fun to watch. Of course, I was really wanting an EU team to win, and I'm glad they did. And yeah, it's honestly awesome, watching it in person compared to at home, absolutely worlds apart. It's indescribable. You just have to go and see what it's like for yourself to really know what the difference is. Because I was watching Gamers 8 actually, it was a couple of weeks after the LAN, and this does not feel the same. I know it'll be the same when you watch Worlds. You sit here, it's like you just wish you could be there because it's so much better being there. And that's why I'd say to everyone, if you can go to an RLCS LAN, just go. Especially if you've got people to go with, but even if you don't, just go and see what it's like. You might meet some new people there, make new friends. And most of all, just have fun. That's all I can say. The highlight of the weekend for me, though, was getting to meet friends who I've known. Some of whom I've known, not that long. Some of those I've known for years. The group I was with most of the time when I was there. Some of those people in that group I've known for close to 4 years at this point, I think. A bit over 4 years. Yeah, that sound about right. About 4 years, some of those people I've known. And finally getting to meet them in person, it's just it's a surreal experience. It didn't feel real at the time, but yeah, it did happen, and it's just super awesome getting to meet loads and loads of people. And really, I just can't wait for the next one because it means I'll hopefully get to see many of them again. Get to see people who couldn't go to the last one, or I couldn't catch whilst I was there. Yeah, I'll be sure next time there's one in Europe, I'll definitely go to it. And maybe one day I'll also go to one in NA. You know, it's just the timing isn't particularly right. Well, not right, but it doesn't work as well. It's also really expensive compared to going to one in Europe. You know, I'm glad it was in the UK. It was, you know, all things considered, not super expensive to go. Especially when you're with a group of people, you know, you can split hotel costs and that, and then for everyone, you know, it's not as expensive. But yeah, it was a great weekend. I had a good time. And yeah, really, the highlight was just getting to meet folk. I think that's the reason why a lot of people go. Of course, you do go for the Rocket League as well. The Rocket League is great. But getting to meet people it's unreal. But yeah, I could go on for ages about LAN. I think we'll move on now because I'd go on for literally ages about how good it was and the whole experience. I do wish I vlogged it, to be honest. You know, but you know, nonetheless, all I can say is great. Go yourself. You know, the experience in and of itself is worth it. So yeah, that's everything about London. Hopefully, next time I go to LAN, I'll vlog it, and you'll all see what it's like. But anyways, let's move on to Worlds. Now, as I already said, I recorded this once before with no audio. This time it's got audio. So I'll basically go through all the picks I've made. So you can see them here. Of course, first round's pretty bog standard. Yeah, pretty much I picked all the matches. Or some of these could go either way, but most of them is like pretty, you know, a no-brainer of what you want to pick. And yeah, I don't want to go on for ages because the last time I recorded this, it was like nearly 25 minutes talking about all these. So I'll keep it fairly short and sweet. If you want to pause to see what picks I made specifically, then feel free to go ahead. But the teams I thought I would go through would be V1. I think most people could agree with that. Space Station, I think everyone can agree. Dignitas, you know, had the best performances, but I think most people think that as well. Same with Optic, Carmine Corp, Renegades. That one's a, you know, when you look at the match 5 matchup, or round 5 matchup, you could also argue Veloce could go through. But yeah, I think Renegades will. Same with Semper, again, that way you could argue KCP, considering the results they have had in the past. Maybe they could go through too. And Team Secret and O1 Esports as well. And Team Secret over O1 Esports. So yeah, that's the team. Those are the teams I think will go through to the main event. So yeah. And of course, there's a bunch of other teams. So I think teams that will go out. Yeah, Bravado, Orlando Pirates, Gaming Gladiators, the club, Tokyo Verde, Veloce Pioneers, O1. That's what I think. So on to the main event. I may have spoiled the final results. I mean, you could see them anyway, but yeah, this is what I think will happen. So Group A, I think you know, all these groups are actually very stacked. I'll be honest. The ones that come up here, they're both incredibly stacked. Of course, there's some teams that will probably get through without, you know, I say that without too much bother. I think it's gonna, you know, you have to be on at the top of your game to get out of these groups. I think because they're both filled with so much quality. I think for Group A, we'll see Moist, Falcons, BDS, and Furia make it through. And then from Group B, we'll see G2, Carmine Corp, FaZe, and Space Station. That's what I think will happen. Then the playoffs. I'll talk about these matchups individually now, because these are the really important games. Moist Space Station in 7. I hope it isn't as much of a nerve-wracking experience as in the major, because it was actually in the quarterfinals, or was it the top 8? I think, no, it was quarterfinals. The last game on Saturday, right? And it goes all the way to 7. And then I think it was with 12 seconds left, Space Station scored to go 2-1 up. Then Moist equalised from the kickoff, and then they won in overtime. And, you know, there's been very few moments like that. But honestly, it was insane because, you know, everyone was gutted when Space Station scored that goal to go up, and everyone was thinking, like, there's no way to come back from this. But you also hope Moist can pull off something. And they do. They got a kickoff goal. Everyone went mental in the arena. And then same when they won. it was probably the most hyped the crowds. Well, maybe not the most hyped, but one of the most hyped moments, I would say. And it was a very exciting series to watch. Like, everyone just went insane. Everyone was cheering in the arena. It was unreal. If you didn't see it, go back to the VODs. It was the one on Saturday, so it will be like day 4 or something, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly, but last series, Moist vs Space Station, watch it. The last game in particular, and you'll understand what I'm on about. It was insane. I will say the crowd audio is one thing I didn't like, especially about on the Saturday. You could hardly hear them. You know, I was like saying to my mum, like, you know, the crowd's super loud, and she's like, I can hardly hear them. And I'm like, what on earth? So when I got back to the hotel, I watched it on my phone, and I was like, yeah, you can hardly hear the crowd. Thankfully, you turned it up on Sunday, so it was quite a bit better. But yeah, I hope it's not going to be as nerve-wracking as it was in the major. Now, BDS Coming Corp. Coming Corp, I feel like could win that one, but my hope is that, you know, same with Dignitas. Dignitas haven't performed well, but lately, but I think they'll have a decent performance here. I think BDS, there's no way they completely flop 2 lands in a row. I think they will do a lot better here, because, you know, they actually had good results during the regionals last split after they got Seiko. And I think they'll actually do well this time. I don't think they'll completely flop again. I just think there's no way that's going to happen. Furia G2, again, one could go either way, but I think Furia, after winning Gamers 8, I mean, it's a bit hard to, you know, I don't want to put it on a pedestal here because Gamers 8 followed the future format, so obviously not a complete write-off because there was a bunch of 3s in there, but it's just not the same kind of thing. But I think they'll be riding a high because that's a big tournament to win. You know, huge prize pool for that, $2 million. Insane for that. And they get like $500,000 of that. That's ridiculous. And then Falcons, FaZe, you know, again, FaZe could do well in that series, but I think Falcons are just way too good. I think they'll do that. Then Moist BDS, I think Moist will go into the finals. It's a boring pick because, you know, that's 3 lands in a row, the grand finals, but I just can't see. I could see BDS winning it, but most likely Moist win, I think. And Furia Falcons, again, that one could go either way. Furia won last time we played in Gamers 8. I think this time Furia will also win again with purely 3s. I think they'll just be riding that high, and I hope they can make it through because it would be the first South American team in an RLCS finals. We've already had, you know, in the major, the London major, you know, that was the first time we saw a team that's not from EU or NA make the finals of an RLCS LAN. And now I think Furia will make history again. And I think Moist will win the whole thing. You know, I'm a big fan of Moist, especially after the London major. You know, it's just like a team, you can't not like them. They're just, you know, so genuine, really, so humble. And they're just an entertaining team to watch. I love watching them. So that's what I think will happen in the Worlds. So yeah, I've managed to keep this video quite a bit shorter. I was hoping to show me doing my picks live, but, you know, fucked up the audio on the last recording, so this will have to do. But at least the video's kept a bit shorter, at least. So, thank you all again for watching the video. I hope you did enjoy. And I'll be back with another video on Worlds once it's concluded. It's from the 4th to the 14th, if I remember correctly. So, not long after that. Hopefully it won't take a whole month to go over it, unlike this time. Or like this time. It took, you know, it's been pretty much a month. You know, not exactly. Well, yeah, pretty much exactly a month, actually. You know, since the LAN. So I'll be sure to do it like within the week after, and just kind of go over what really happened. You know, I'm expecting a lot of these picks to be totally wrong. It's gonna happen, but it should be fun. So yeah, be sure to watch Worlds. It's gonna be great. Gonna be nice to watch. And yeah, that'll do it. Thanks again, everyone, and see you all again next time. Have a good one.